Our first priority in any of our sea life centres around the world is the care and welfare of our animals. And perhaps the thing I'm most proud of are the people that care for those animals, the marine biologists and aquarists that we have all over the world. And of course, one of the things that distresses us most is when we lose any animal. And that isn't acceptable, of course. But there are reasons for that, and we do have to look at these figures closely that have been produced by the BBC. We can't aggregate by statistics the way that animals live or die. We have to look at these species individually. We have to look at the species type. All our sea life centres are different, and within that we have different species with different life expectancies. We have jellyfish whose life expectancy is about a year, and then we have turtles that expectancy is 50 to 70 years old. And so it's very, very difficult to aggregate these numbers in the way that they've been presented today. But let's just look at some of the facts. Of course, some of the incidents in these reports that happened 2 years ago are real, and we have faced up to those and dealt with them. One of them in particular was a very, very tricky situation in Great Yarmouth, where some of the technical systems that we have, including our filtration, was intermittently failing, and of course as part of that we tragically lost some species in our main ocean display. And sometimes in the wild, creatures carry parasites, and we can't legislate for that, and sometimes those animals do appear in our sea life centres. And again, we have to address that, and it's extremely distressing for the teams that work with these animals that that would occur in such places as Blackpool. But then let's look forward and look at what we've actually done last year. We've bred over 190 different sharks in 18 different species. In the last 5 years, we've bred 70 ungulate rays, which are actually a species that from 2011 became declared an endangered species. These are significant numbers. And over the course of last year, we've bred other species to the tune of 2,800. So I think there needs to be a balance struck here. And of course, the other part of what we do in general terms is we've invested in a charity ourselves, a Sea Life Trust. We've also campaigned with our guests and highlighted the EU port issue where whale meat was transferred through the EU ports, which we have now happily stopped. We've also been a huge campaigner against shark finning, which many of our guests will know about. Last year alone, we rescued over 100 seal pups in one of the most tempestuous winters, and that comes across in all 4 of our rescue centres around the UK. So what I will say at the end of all of this is that we will continue doing what we've done for the last 35 years. We will continue to maintain the highest standards of welfare for our animals, and we will continue to engage with our guests and make sure that they fall in love with the oceans just as we do, and for all the marine creatures that live there.